actually now be traded by the Browns.
Like, my job here isn't to prove people wrong. Like, I prove myself right.
With the sudden retirement of Derek Carr, it certainly looks that way. The Browns have too many quarterbacks on their roster. The Saints, not enough. And the Saints quarterback room looks like a boy band. Plenty of experts during the draft said the Saints should have taken Shedeur.
The Saints would be insane not to draft him. I'm serious.
And while some Saints fans are mad that they didn't,
One moment, Shedeur Sanders is the glittering future of Cleveland. The next minute, the Miami Dolphins are circling like sharks that just smelled blood in the water. Suddenly, Andrew Berry looks like a man who realized his private emails just got leaked to the entire league. Could Miami actually be plotting a move for Sanders? The Dolphins were supposed to be worrying about sunscreen, massage tables, and whether Tyreek Hill could squeeze in yet another cheetah joke into his interviews. But instead, they decided to crank up the NFL rumor machine with a twist so wild it makes reality TV look scripted. They're sniffing around Shedeur Sanders, not Caleb Williams, not Trevor Lawrence, not a fading 39-year-old Tom Brady trying one more comeback, Shedeur Sanders. And while Miami fans were practically dusting off their teal throwbacks with shaking hands, Andrew Berry in Cleveland reportedly aged a decade in about 10 seconds. This is the type of jaw-dropping headline that makes you wonder if NFL front offices are masterminds with secret blueprints or just restless teenagers button-smashing plays on Madden at 2 a.m. Because let's be real, Miami, a team already stacked with offensive fireworks, looked around and said, "Hey, what if we just casually go window shopping for a quarterback who's not even available?" And now the Browns, bless their nervous hearts, are clutching Sanders like a toddler refusing to let go of his favorite toy. But let's not twist it. Sanders isn't just another name floating through the rumor mill. He's the storyline, the storm, and maybe the spark that could flip the balance of power in the league overnight.
When fans are ready for a change under center after a dreadful start, they want Shedeur Sanders traded to the Dolphins. Should Miami make a new move, Ocho?
It's only week 1, huh? It's no time to hit the panic button.
Man, the fans don't care about no week 1, week 2, week 10.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now I'm part of the fan.
He's not just a quarterback. He's the golden-armed son of Deion Sanders, the guy Cleveland has been parading around like royalty. The Browns didn't just draft him. They practically rolled out the Hollywood spotlight, handed him the city's keys, and said, "Welcome home, King." So when whispers broke that Miami was circling, the collective gasp in Cleveland could have set off earthquake alerts across Ohio. Andrew Berry, normally cool as a chess-playing grandma, suddenly looked like a man watching his porch camera replay as his Amazon package walks off in someone else's hands. The Browns had spent years crafting their perfect post-Watson recovery plan, convinced that Shedeur was the cure to decades of quarterback heartbreak, the messiah they've been praying for since Bernie Kosar. And then, out of nowhere, Miami lobs a pineapple-shaped grenade right into the middle of it all. The funniest part? The Dolphins don't even need Shedeur right now. They've got Tua, who's been solid enough to justify keeping his spot, even if Miami fans watch every hit he takes like it's a horror movie jump scare. But apparently, that wasn't spicy enough. Somewhere in the Dolphins front office, someone must have said, "Forget boring stability. Let's cook up some chaos." And in Cleveland, the meltdown was instant. Fans reacted like someone just suggested trading LeBron in the middle of his prime. Remember, this is a city still traumatized from the Baker Mayfield roller coaster, the Watson soap opera, and the never-ending quarterback carousel that spins like a cursed carnival ride. Now picture this. Cleveland finally finds their savior, pins all their hopes and therapy bills on him. And suddenly the thought of losing Shedeur isn't just football. It's straight-up trauma wearing shoulder pads.
Go ahead and get Shedeur Sanders, okay? Because, and I'm talking to the Dolphin coach, head, whoever's over the Dolphins, okay? Whoever make those decisions. Couture, whatever his name is, because yes, I watched the Dolphin game today. Okay, and I normally don't watch football, but I sat down, I was being a good whatever, and watched the Dolphin game, and I'm sitting here like, why we don't just get Shedeur? Help me out. I don't know football like that, but what I'm looking at Tanger to our quarterback.
NFL rumors don't just appear out of thin air either. Somebody whispers in the hallway, a reporter sprinkles in extra spice, and before you know it, people are acting like the Dolphins have already built a Shedeur shrine in their locker room. The truth? Probably somewhere in the messy middle. Maybe Miami's just kicking tires, dipping a toe in the water, seeing what kind of chaos they can stir. But the damage is already done. Cleveland knows somebody's eyeing their shiny new toy, and Andrew Berry's legendary poker face might finally be cracking under the heat. And the comedy writes itself. Can you imagine those trade talks? Miami calling Cleveland with the audacity of someone trying to swap 2 expired gift cards for a Ferrari. What exactly do the Dolphins think they're offering? Tyreek Hill on loan? The rights to the Miami Vice theme song? Half of South Beach real estate? Because let's be honest, it would take beachfront property just to make Cleveland stay on the line. But hey, never underestimate NFL front offices. They've pulled off way dumber moves. Remember when the Texans basically gift-wrapped DeAndre Hopkins for a running back whose wheels were already falling off? Or when Washington mortgaged an entire draft class for RG3's knees that barely lasted a season? Compared to that, Miami dialing about Shedeur almost feels sane. Almost. The problem is timing. Shedeur hasn't even planted his flag in Cleveland yet, and already the Sharks are circling, daring to pull him out before the city even gets a chance to breathe. He's the shiny promise of tomorrow, not the proven legend of today. And in the NFL, promises are like cryptocurrency. Sky-high value one day, worthless the next. Miami poking around isn't just curiosity, it's pure chaos. Stirring. A reminder that loyalty in this league lasts about as long as a celebrity marriage headline. Now imagine being Shedeur in all of this madness. 1 minute, you're the golden boy of Cleveland, the savior, the quarterback set to end decades of heartbreak.
I think it's unfair for me to comment in I guess maybe on behalf of the industry. All I can say is this, the time that we spent with Shedeur, and what he's done throughout his college career is impressive. He's an impressive young man. He's a really good quarterback. Sometimes, fit comes into play. And I'd also say this, there are 4 more rounds of the draft. And then maybe lastly, it's less about where you get picked and what you do after you get picked. That's really the most important thing. Getting to know him over the course of the spring,
The next minute, you're rumored as trade bait, sitting in the pawn shop window like a prized chain waiting for a buyer. He probably doesn't even know if he should feel flattered or flat out disrespected. On one side, Miami wants him, but on the other, it makes Cleveland look shaky, like their commitment has cracks already showing. And here's the thing. Rumors like this don't just fade out quietly. They explode, spreading like wildfire. Suddenly, every sports show, every podcast, every barbershop debate is asking if Cleveland can actually keep their hands on Shedeur. Andrew Berry's phone? Probably lighting up nonstop with questions he doesn't want anywhere near his voicemail. Now swing it back to the Dolphins fan base. These people have been strapped into the Tua roller coaster. Ups, downs, and terrifying loops. And now they're daydreaming about Shedeur rocking aqua and orange. That's the kind of fantasy that melts logic faster than ice in Miami heat. It's like kids thinking they can swap a peanut butter sandwich for a PlayStation. Wild, but oh so tempting. Hope is the most dangerous drug in sports, and Miami just handed its fans a full overdose. And the bigger picture? If Miami somehow pulled this stunt off, if they actually pried Shedeur out of Cleveland, it would go down as one of the most jaw-dropping trades in NFL memory. A blockbuster that would shake the league to its core. We're talking Herschel Walker trade levels of pure chaos here. The ripple effects wouldn't just shake Cleveland, they'd rock the entire NFL. Other teams would start tearing up their quarterback plans, GMs would be stress-calling their therapists and Browns fans. They'd be marching down the streets of Cleveland with torches and banners, off-season, in-season. It wouldn't even matter. Because in this league, there always has to be a twist, a cliffhanger, a storyline that feels straight out of a soap opera. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is the main character.
Don't want him. The general manager don't want him. They don't want him on the team. Obviously, the NFL do not want Charlo or Shedeur in the league, but Shedeur is good for money and ratings, or he wouldn't even be there. They don't ever want him to play. Deion showed them yesterday of how he ran Colorado, what Cleveland should be doing. But they ain't gonna do it. Instead, they list Shedeur as inactive.
Just picture Andrew Berry pacing around his office like a man losing his mind, muttering under his breath, while Dolphins executives sit back in Miami sipping margaritas, acting like this is all just harmless curiosity. It's the ultimate contrast. Cleveland sweating bullets in hoodies while Miami lounges under palm trees. If nothing else, this rumor gave us comedy gold. But here's the kicker. What if Miami isn't even serious? What if this was never about actually landing Shedeur, but just about stirring the pot, a leverage play to spook other teams? The NFL is built on that kind of rumor chess. Plant a story here, leak a line there, and suddenly half the league is chasing ghosts while you sit back and laugh. And if that's what Miami's doing, give them credit. They just sent Cleveland spiraling with nothing more than a whisper. Because this saga was never really about Shedeur's actual availability, it's about what he represents. The moment somebody claims Deion booked a weekend in Miami, those crumbs turn into headlines. And suddenly everyone's debating if this trade is actually possible. That's the beauty and the stupidity of the NFL rumor mill. By the time the season really kicks off, none of this may even matter. But right now, it feels like the league is holding its breath, waiting to see if fantasy collides with reality. Shedeur will still be in Cleveland. Andrew Berry will still be stress-eating snacks in his office like his career depends on it. And the Dolphins will keep smiling at cameras while pretending Tua is their forever guy, all while secretly daydreaming about someone else. But right now, we've got the wild entertainment of imagining one of the craziest, least realistic trades in modern football history.
Most hype they've ever had. Like, it's the Browns.
Exactly.
So, he got drafted to the wrong team. That Sanders name, I'm telling you right now, there's only one person that understands business, and he will trade his quarterback for.
So whether you're a Browns fan clutching your quarterback like a life raft, a Dolphins fan daydreaming about the next big splash, or just an NFL junkie who loves watching chaos unfold, this story delivers everything: drama, comedy, and just the right dose of absurdity to keep the whole league buzzing. And here's where it gets hysterical. Cleveland doesn't have the luxury of treating Shedeur like an optional toy. He's not a bonus prize. He's their survival plan. The Browns are holding onto Shedeur the way a reality TV contestant clings to that final rose, with desperation and tears in their eyes. They've poured not just money but reputation, pride, and the slim chance of erasing decades of quarterback embarrassment into this kid. To even whisper about trading him feels like football blasphemy in Ohio. But the Dolphins? Chaos is in their DNA. This is a franchise that once convinced itself Jay Cutler was the answer. Yes, that Jay Cutler. This is the same team that spent decades pretending Dan Marino's ghost was still under center. So of course they'd toss a rumor grenade into the league just to watch the sparks fly. And the funniest part? Miami fans are already photoshopping Shedeur in teal and orange like the deal's already signed. For them, fantasy is as good as fact. And that's what makes this rumor circus pure NFL comedy gold. Cleveland's front office isn't laughing, though. For them, every rumor feels like a dagger in the back. Imagine trying to build your entire franchise around Shedeur, only to wake up to headlines suggesting he's already packing his bags for South Beach. That's not just noise. That's a nightmare that shakes a city that's been living in quarterback misery for decades. And you can already see the ripple effect. Players start hearing the whispers. Reporters shove microphones in their faces, and suddenly, the locker room feels like a crime scene where everyone's waiting for the next clue to drop.
Stating that Shedeur Sanders can be traded to either the New Orleans Saints, the Las Vegas Raiders, or the Los Angeles Rams. And naturally, my response was,
Try to do. You can't deny it. You can't.
Ocho, and Cleveland doing this Sometimes a man can make his destiny on the very road he took to avoid it.
What should have been a quiet transition year for Shedeur now feels like a circus tent where Cleveland is the main act and everyone else is watching to see if they trip. Meanwhile, Miami doesn't even have to do anything. They just sit back while the drama writes itself. Their fans are running wild on social media. Their execs keep sipping drinks under palm trees, and every headline puts them in the spotlight without them even lifting a finger. That's the genius of chaos. Sometimes you don't need to act, you just need to let the storms swirl around your name. And poor Andrew Berry? He's caught in the middle, forced to play damage control while knowing deep down that in the NFL, once a rumor starts, you can't stuff it back in the box. Even if nothing happens, the perception alone is brutal. Because now, the question isn't just, can Shedeur be the guy for Cleveland? It's, how long before somebody else tries to steal him? And this is where the whole saga hits another level, because perception is everything in the NFL. Once the idea is out there that Shedeur might be on the move, even if it's just smoke, it plants seeds of doubt in every direction. Opposing defenses start wondering if Cleveland is really sold on their guy. Analysts start circling like vultures. And the fans? They're split between blind faith and absolute panic. Cleveland can't afford that. This is a city that's been starving for stability under center for decades, and Shedeur was supposed to be the meal that finally filled the plate. Now, instead of celebrating the start of a new era, they're dealing with whispers that he could get ripped away before he even makes his mark. That's not just cruel. That's the kind of mental gut punch that lingers for years.
The expectation is. I don't know what you think you're going to do. You knew we were going to.
That doesn't mean I have to be okay with it. Why do I have to sit here and say, "Oh, the Browns suck. This is wonderful. I'm so happy every year"?
I'm not saying you have to be wonderful. I'm saying you have to have realistic expectations for. We picked us to go 0-17.
Realistic expectations are when your team sucks, any other NFL team makes changes. We do the same shit every year and get the same results.
But my argument is we're not doing the same thing this year.
Yeah.
We have way less penalties. We have way less penalties. We have 4 turnovers so far, but we can all agree that 2 of them were.
Meanwhile, Miami keeps fueling the circus without saying a word. Their fans are making highlight edits of Shedeur in teal and orange, sports shows are running what-if trade packages on loop, and Twitter is basically throwing a digital parade like it's already happened. It's madness, but it's also brilliant. Because the more the story spins, the more leverage Miami gains without having to lift a single phone. And don't forget, the NFL eats this kind of chaos for breakfast. Every hour this rumor lives, it gets juicier, wilder, more believable, because that's how the machine works. By the time week 1 rolls around, the story won't just be about whether Shedeur can play, it'll be about whether Cleveland can keep him. And once that doubt creeps in, it never fully leaves. So here's the crazy part. Even if Shedeur never leaves Cleveland, this rumor has already done its damage. The trust between a city and its quarterback is fragile, and once cracks appear, the noise never fully goes away. Every interception, every bad throw, every tough loss will now come with whispers. Maybe Miami was right to want him. Maybe Cleveland won't hold on to him forever. That's poison for a fan base that's been burned too many times before. And what about Shedeur himself? Imagine being a rookie, already under the heaviest spotlight in the league, now hearing your name tossed around like trade bait before you've even unpacked your bags. That's pressure most veterans couldn't handle, let alone someone who's supposed to carry an entire franchise's legacy. Does he double down and prove Cleveland right? Or does the doubt creep in, making him wonder if he's just another piece in the league's never-ending chess game? Meanwhile, the Dolphins sit back with sly grins, knowing they've managed to rattle one of the league's most desperate franchises without lifting a finger.
Dolphins draft Shedeur Sanders after this season. Right now, things in Miami are not looking good. The Dolphins look broken. And with the uncertainty surrounding Tua, could they be looking to draft a quarterback? The Miami Dolphins are currently 1-3, and I really don't see it getting much better from this. Things are so bad that Jared Goff and Tyreek Hill both have the same amount of receiving touchdowns. What should the...
For them, this isn't about winning Shedeur today. It's about planting doubt tomorrow, about showing the world they're always one bold move away from shaking the league. And the league? Oh, the NFL thrives on this chaos. Talk shows can stretch it into week-long debates, social media floods with memes, and fans on both sides live on the edge of hope and fear. This isn't just a rumor anymore. It's a storyline, a weapon, a ticking time bomb waiting for the right spark. In the minds of Dolphins Nation, this isn't just a rumor, it's prophecy. That's the raw power of fan bases. Give them a single headline and suddenly they're mapping out parade routes, photoshopping Shedeur in teal, and ordering custom jerseys before the ink is even dry. Meanwhile, poor Andrew Berry is stuck in the middle of a circus he never bought tickets to. Picture him sitting in his office, staring at his phone like it's mocking him, wondering if he just became the punchline of the NFL's latest league-wide prank. On one side, Browns fans are ready to storm the building if Shedeur even sneezes near a trade rumor. On the other, Miami is flashing metaphorical sunglasses, grinning like they're about to snatch Cleveland's crown jewel for the price of a pack of gum and a used jet ski. But here's the stone-cold truth. Andrew Berry knows this trade isn't happening. The Browns know it. And deep down, even Miami knows it too. But that doesn't stop the machine. Because the NFL thrives on drama the same way reality TV thrives on bad lighting. It doesn't need truth. It just needs speculation, loud enough to keep fans arguing at barbecues all summer long. And let's keep it real. If Miami actually wanted Shedeur, they'd have to empty the vault. We're talking multiple first-round picks, star players, and maybe even a lifetime supply of Cuban sandwiches for every single Browns fan in Ohio. Anything less, Cleveland hangs up laughing. The Dolphins don't care, though. They're banking on doubt. Act interested long enough, stir the pot just right, and suddenly other teams start second-guessing their quarterback plans.
Timo is coming. The real Wolves is coming. Now, I am praying to God that Shedeur gets an opportunity to show what he can really do. And I think that would be probably the best thing for him. But knowing the Cleveland Browns, they dumbass gonna trade him.
That's the petty genius of NFL front offices. Sometimes it's not about making the move. It's about making everyone else sweat. So what do you think? Is this just smoke? Or could Miami actually be bold enough to pull it off? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe for more wild NFL drama, and share this with your football crew. Because this story is far from over. NFL front offices live for this, planting stories, leaking half-truths, and tossing rumors like grenades just to knock rivals off balance. But here's the problem. Quarterbacks crave stability. They want to believe the team that drafted them is the one that truly believes in them. And when whispers like this spread, even if they're baseless, they plant those tiny seeds of doubt. They make players wonder if the so-called love story with their franchise is really a forever thing. Or just a fling, waiting to collapse the second a shinier option comes along. Cleveland can't afford even a hint of that doubt. This is a franchise that's been burned too many times to count. Remember Johnny Manziel, the future that turned into a tabloid saga? Remember Baker Mayfield, the so-called savior who left fans split between hope and heartbreak? Every single time it's ended with tears, therapy, and yet another fresh batch of quarterback jerseys being printed. Shedeur represents the chance to finally break that curse, the clean slate, the redemption arc. So when Miami comes sniffing, it's not just an annoyance, it's a full-blown existential crisis in Ohio. And what makes this rumor even juicier? The domino effect. Because the second other teams see Miami circling, you know what they're thinking. If the Dolphins are interested, maybe we should be too.
3 teams. See, y'all ain't know this come from the inside. Somebody on the inside is sick of the Browns themselves. 3 teams asked for Shedeur. They want to train him. They want to start him. You know what the Browns did? Nope. We gonna keep him. Nope.
That's how chaos multiplies in this league. But here's the punchline. None of this actually changes the cold reality. Cleveland isn't trading Shedeur. They can't. They won't. They'd sooner roll the dice on another Johnny Manziel comeback before handing over the one quarterback who's supposed to rewrite their history. And that's exactly why this rumor feels less like gossip and more like psychological warfare. Because for Cleveland, Shedeur isn't just a player. He's the last lifeline. Cleveland has bet their entire future on Shedeur, yet the rumor won't die. Not because it's realistic, but because it's flat out entertaining. And in the NFL, entertainment is currency. So while Miami fans keep daydreaming about a quarterback coup and Cleveland fans keep spiraling into panic mode, the rest of us get front row seats to the most absurd theater in sports. Because let's be honest, whether Shedeur stays locked into Cleveland for a decade or this rumor mutates into even wilder headlines down the line, one thing is guaranteed. This won't be the last time a team like Miami decides to stir the pot. That's the cycle of the league. Drama fuels ratings, rumors drive debates, and chaos keeps everyone hooked. In fact, the only thing more reliable than bad officiating in this league is the wildfire of a juicy rumor. And this one? It just reminded us all why NFL gossip sometimes feels bigger than the games themselves. So when you step back, the whole saga isn't really about trades or contracts. It's about the theater of the NFL. Cleveland clutching Shedeur like their last lifeline, Miami tossing rumor grenades just to see the explosion, and the rest of the league sitting back with popcorn watching the chaos unfold. And maybe that's the real beauty of all this. In the NFL, you don't need facts, you just need a spark. A whisper can turn into a storm, a headline can shake a city, and one quarterback's name can dominate the entire news cycle without him even throwing a pass.
That a winning coach wants for a quarterback that can help to build a dynasty. But can't nobody else get him until somebody shakes some shit up. So we just gonna keep on holding people accountable till they...
So buckle up, because whether Shedeur Sanders becomes Cleveland's savior for the next decade, or just the face of the league's latest rumor circus, one thing is clear: the drama never stops. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And I'll see you on the next one.